It's 2 weeks till senior graduation. That kid decides he's gonna pull a prank that nobody will ever forget. Most senior pranks involve balloons, sticky notes, baby oil. Well, this dude somehow gets his hands on an actual beehive. It was in my backyard. I put it in the trash bag. And his genius plan is to bring it to school and release it. Okay, well, that's actually so dangerous. Like, I'm trying to figure out what the punchline's supposed to be here. Kid with a bee allergy having to be taken to the hospital? Who knows? He ties up the garbage bag that the beehive's in and he throws it over his shoulder. And he gets on the bus, mister. He's thrown on the bus, everything's fine at first. Then a kid noticed a bee. Oh God, there's a bee in here. Then there was another one. Oh God, there's another bee in here. Then another, then another, then another. The senior kid is like, oh my God! The bees had buzzed their way through this garbage bag, and now the beehive is open. The next 30 seconds were complete and utter craziness. Kids screaming, people hiding underneath the bus seats, but everybody was getting stung. And yes, there were kids in the bus that were allergic to bees, and yes, they had to go to the hospital. The funny part is, when the bus driver first noticed all these bees, he put the bus in park and left the bus. But then he realized he's in charge of these kids. I gotta go back. And he drives the bus to a nearby hospital, and they take it from there. But they found out who brought the beehive in, and he wasn't able to graduate. But that makes sense, because what a dumb prank. It's first grade, and this kid's at a school assembly. The whole school is there. It's a very small school, kindergarten through 12th grade. And it's some educational assembly, like the frickin' Wiggles, trying to get students to learn in fun ways. Actors singing and dancing, they're trying way too hard to make learning look fun. And that's a rhombus. Well, this kid is barely paying attention. Because the night before this, he was watching Spider-Man cartoons, and he was thinking about an episode. So he's half asleep when one of the actors asks, all right, students, who sailed the ocean blue in 1492? Well, this kid's friend elbows him. He's messing with him. Hey, bro, she called on you. So he raises his hand. Okay. She says, okay, what's the answer? What's the question? Who sailed the ocean blue in 1492? And instead of actually thinking about it, he said the first thing that comes to his mind. Norman Virgil Osborne. No. Dead silence. Everyone's confused. Then one of the older kids says, did he just answer that question with the Green Goblin? That's hilarious! And then suddenly the entire school starts cheering him on. They push him down to the middle of the gym and they tell him to dance. Dance! 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 They're chanting. The kid has no idea what to do, so he just busts a move. It was horrible. He was embarrassed and he left the gym. But honestly, that sounds like an awesome assembly. Every single morning, this kid bought the same thing from the vending machine. Sugar-free lemonade. Yum. The same vending machine, the same drink, every morning. It was his routine. Well, one morning he drops his coins in. What the heck? Clink, clink, nothing. The machine is not recognizing this money at all. He tries to press the button to get his coins back, but nothing was happening. Okay, must be broken. He goes to the office and tells them. They say that they have no control over the vending machines at all. So he wrote on a piece of paper, do not use, out of order, and he tapes it to that vending machine. Okay, perfect. Now nobody else will waste their money here. Hero moment. The next morning he goes to the vending machine and the paper is gone. So he assumes, oh cool, they must have fixed it. What the heck? Still broken. His coins just gone. Nothing's registering, he cannot get his drink. So he's irritated now, he makes another piece of paper. Do not use, out of order. He tapes it on there. This time he checks on it at lunch and the piece of paper is gone. But the machine is still broken. Somebody is taking his paper off but not fixing the machine. People are probably wasting their money here. He didn't want people to make the same mistake he was doing, but he was like, why are they taking this down? So he goes to the principal again, makes the principal call the vending machine company. They come out and they fix it. Yeah. But all the money he put in there was gone. They wouldn't give him a refund. But hey, at least he got the vending machine fixed. And he got to have the sugar-free lemonade again. For almost a year, this kid kept reporting the same bully to the office. He beat me up again. And every single time, the school staff reacted the same way. Okay, we'll look into it. He's just being dramatic. And this bully was ruthless. Locker shoves, he would slap the books out of his hand. He started rumors about him. Hey, he uses onions as soap. But the school staff kept saying, we'll keep an eye on it. I'm not doing nothing. They just weren't taking it seriously. They didn't think he was telling the truth. After a while, are you sure you're not misinterpreting things? You keep reporting the same student every day. We need proof. I don't have proof. Well, that's too bad. Well, that spring, they installed cameras in the school, all throughout the hallways. The cameras were not installed for bullying. The superintendent just made the decision. Well, the first week the cameras are live, this kid was bullied every day. And at the end of the week, he goes to the office. It happened again. Every single day this week, he shoved me in the locker, he beat me up, he slapped the books out of my hands. Here we go again, we need proof. Well, this time you do. Remember? You guys installed cameras in the hallway. Oh, that's right. They checked the cameras, and they saw it. Every day that kid being bullied by the same bully he said he was being bullied by. And there was an investigation launched. The bully gets suspended for 2 weeks, and the school staff pulls him into the office and apologizes. I mean, finally, but that's still super messed up. In 8th grade, this art teacher had a locked cabinet in the back of the room. It was kind of mysterious. She never talked about it, but once a week, she would go back there, unlock it, take out a small handful of things, and walk away. Kids would whisper, wondering what's inside. Is it expensive paints? Ancient artifacts? Animals? Well, one semester, this student named Riley was picked to stay after school one day to help clean some stuff up. The teacher leaves the room for 5 minutes, and that cabinet key is just sitting there on the desk. So he opens it slow and carefully.
Opening it slow and carefully.
Inside were stacks and stacks of goldfish cracker boxes. No art supplies, no ancient masterpieces, just enough frickin' goldfish crackers to feed a small country. When the teacher comes back in, Riley asks, "Cabinet goldfish! Why?" "Oh, it's my favorite snack. I take one handful per class.
And I just munch on them. I love them.
It was just her own personal snack cabinet. Who would have thought? This bully got smoked. So there's this kid named Mateo. He's super nice, he's quiet, and he always walks around in these old beat-up New Balance shoes. And then there's Jackson, super loudmouth, and he wears these $600 limited edition Nikes that everyone compliments. "Hey yo, check the drip. Nice shoes, Jackson." "Thanks." Now normally Mateo ignores Jackson because Jackson's constantly making fun of Mateo's shoes. But one day in gym, Mateo had enough. Jackson was like, "Bro, you're still wearing those nasty ass crusty shoes? You're probably super poor, you freaking idiot." Everyone laughs. Mateo doesn't. Because here's the secret. Mateo is a walking sneaker encyclopedia. He can spot a pair of fake sneakers from a mile away. And nobody knew this about him. And Jackson, those $600 shoes, Mateo's known for months that those are fake. And he's kept quiet because he's a nice guy. Until now. When the class is doing laps around the gym, Mateo sneaks out and heads to the locker room. He opens Jackson's locker because, of course, he never locks it. And he walks out to the gym floor holding the shoes like evidence. "Everybody, yo, dude, those are my shoes. Since y'all want to talk about my shoes, let's talk about Jackson's shoes." He pulls out his phone and he begins comparing pictures of fake shoes to the ones that Jackson has, and they line up. So this is a fake. Look at Jackson's. See that stitching? That's fake. Look at the logo. It's completely off. It's in the wrong font. Look at the sole of the shoe. Completely discolored. These are only worth $25. Everyone's like, "What? Dude? So you're a frickin' fraud then, huh, Jackson?" "No, I mean, yes. I mean, no." Bro, you can't clown people for their shoes when you're wearing frickin' replicas. I paid more for my New Balances than you did for those fakes. And from then on, nobody made fun of Mateo's shoes ever again. Man, yeah. Legend. Genius level 1000. So this kid gets a job at the local movie theater. 2 tickets to the Helpful Cow, please. All right, enjoy the show. Well, day 3, he learns a pretty cool thing. All right, staff, a reminder, you all get free popcorn. Isn't that awesome? Best job ever. So every shift, right before close, he fills a bag with free popcorn. He ties it up and he stuffs it in his backpack. Popcorn into backpack. He goes home, goes into his bedroom, and he puts that popcorn into an even bigger bag of popcorn. It's a massive trash bag he keeps in his closet. He does this for days. His closet turns into a popcorn storage unit, and he's trying to keep the popcorn as fresh as possible. Then what he does is he takes his popcorn to school, and he sells it. Like for example, one night during a basketball game, the school is selling tiny popcorn bags for $4 each. He comes in, $2, fresh movie theater quality popcorn, $2. He goes behind the bleachers and a line forms. People are ditching the real concession stand to buy popcorn off of him. He upgrades his business too. Employees get 50% off of all candy. So one day he buys a bunch, tosses it in his backpack, and sells it at school for full price. "I hear you have candy." "Yep, Twix, Reese's, Butterfinger, what do you want?" He's basically running concessions every day at school. And by the end of the year, he made more money selling popcorn and candy than the theater paid him to work there. And that is genius. You gotta respect the hustle. Steven was a quiet kid that got bullied for everything, but one day he decided to change that. It was a second floor classroom. Steven was sitting by the window, and he decided that today was the day he was not going to be bullied anymore and that he was going to become a legend. Now the funny thing about Steven was that he was actually shredded. Well, the teacher was mid-lesson, and Steven opens up the window, and he jumps out. There was a single-story building right outside this window, so he just jumped down onto that. And then he started dancing. Like full-on dancing, poses, spins, his hands were in the air, frickin' jazz hands. One kid near the window said, "Bro thinks he's doing a halftime show." He was hyped. He thought he did a great dance, so he hopped down to the courtyard, walked back in school, and sat down in the classroom. But the thing is, nobody even saw him do it. Just that one kid by the window. Nice work, man. He was livid. He did all that because he wanted to be this legend of a kid who danced on the roof of the school building. But no one noticed him, so the next week he came and he did it again. Same class, same window, same routine, and again, nobody noticed. Did anybody see that? See what, Steven, huh? The world does not revolve around you. Pay attention to the lesson. I hate my life. A freezing rainstorm hits overnight. Morning comes, and every single porch on the block is a sheet of ice. People are stepping outside trying to go to work, but they're slipping all over the place. But one kid, Billy, he planned for this. He saw the winter storm warning early, so the day before he went to Home Depot, and he bought 4 giant bags of ice melt with his Christmas money. And that morning at 7 a.m., he's outside in slip-proof boots, dragging a red wagon full of salt. $3, I'll melt your whole porch and driveway. $3, I'll melt it all. And the people that didn't have salt themselves, because this was a very unexpected storm, they paid him. Take my money. Oh, take my money. Milk, milk. So he's sprinkling, he's scraping, ice is melting, neighbors are getting to their cars, other neighbors see, they want to use his service as well. Business is booming on this crazy morning. And anyone who says, "I'm not paying for your salt," fine, then you can slip. Wait, come back, here. They always give in. He made some really decent money that day, and ever since then, they called him the Winter King. He was a lifesaver, and honestly, genius. Gotta respect the hustle. This bully got a dose of karma. Right by the front entrance of this middle school, there was this carpet, and everybody had to walk across it as they were entering the school. But this one kid made it his personal game. Every morning when this one kid would enter, he would slide the carpet out of the way and pour his water bottle down. He's coming. Watch this. It was the same target every single day. This one curly-headed kid named Jerry. I'm Jerry. And this kid just took it. He eclipsed at his feet. He always fell for it. He slipped and fell every single morning. But one morning, the plan backfired. A school security guard was walking through the doors right behind Jerry. And the bully does it. Jerry slips, but so does the security guard. Thud. He fell down right in front of everyone. Oh no, you! That was on purpose. No, no, no. You're coming with me. The bully then got suspended, and when he came back, he never did it again. And Jerry was finally free. Isn't that nice? This is messed up. So there was this kid named Owen, always polite, quiet, but he was always reminding the class of his peanut allergy. I have a peanut allergy. And the teacher backed him up every time. And guys, remember, no peanuts in class, please. Thank you. But one kid, Tyler, got sick of hearing it. I'm so sick of hearing this. And he swore Owen was faking this entire thing because he wanted attention. So on a random day, Tyler brought candy for everybody. And he made a big show of it. Don't worry guys, they're regular M&Ms. Totally safe, Owen, I promise. But they weren't. They were peanut M&Ms. He gave one to Owen and he ate it. Wait a minute. Everybody was laughing, and Tyler was getting ready to prove that Owen was faking it this entire time, but that's not what happened. Nothing's gonna happen, guys. He's been faking this. Oh, Owen. He begins choking, wheezing, and then he falls out of his chair. A teacher called 911, and Owen was taken to the hospital. And Tyler got suspended for weeks. Yeah, that's messed up. At this one school, there was a day called the Polar Express Day. It's where the elementary kids would wear their pajamas to school, they would watch Polar Express at the end of the day, and then the buses would take them home. It's everybody's favorite day. Everyone's all cozy, there's snacks. Polar Express is an awesome movie. Well, this one year, during the movie, nobody noticed that the snow was coming down, and it was piling up outside. All right, kids, movie's over. Let's open the blinds and... Oh. It's snowing, and it was snowing a lot. Well, school's over, and the buses are delayed. It takes about 30 minutes for these buses to show up to the school. Well, this group of kids gets on their bus, but it wasn't their normal bus driver. It was a substitute bus driver. And the problem is, for some reason, this bus driver had no idea where he was going. I think this is the right neighborhood, right? No! Where are you taking us? The bus driver didn't know what to do, so he stopped at a freaking gas station. Okay, guys, we're just gonna pull over here for a second. There's a man at my window. Hey, kid, want a free animal? What? Then they stop at a random parking lot. One kid has to call his parents so they can give him directions. Mom, we're lost. Talk to the bus driver. Hi. The mom tries to give him directions. It didn't really work that well. So he drives the bus with all the kids in it back to the bus depot. Carl, what? I need you to take these kids home, man. I have no idea what I'm doing. What do you mean? There's still kids in that bus. Help us. So they switch bus drivers and this bus driver gets them home safely. But by that time, it was around 7 p.m. That's a crazy day. So every day during class, she made her students sit in a circle and they had to confess something they felt guilty about. It was called the guilt circle. She said it helped build trust, but it felt more like public humiliation. Every morning, right after the bell rang, one by one, share something you regret, something you're hiding, a dark secret. And if you really couldn't think of anything, she would say, that's fine, but you're going twice tomorrow. It would be stuff like, I ate my sister's Halloween candy, I cheated on a vocab quiz. But after a while, that wasn't good enough for her. She wanted them to go deeper. I spread a horrible rumor about my friend. I took money from my mom's purse, and she loved it. Oh, why do you think you did that? Do you think she knows? No. Day after day, week after week, this is how things went down. Until one day a kid stood up and said, you know what, Mrs. Keller, you should feel guilty. You make us say this stuff in front of you and all of our classmates, and then I bet you go laugh about it in the teacher's lounge. The whole room froze. She didn't say anything. And I guess that was all it took, because the next day, the guilt circle stopped. For real though, that is super messed up and completely unacceptable. So this school was doing Spirit Week. You know, Pajama Day, Wacky Wednesday, stuff like that. Well, on Wacky Wednesday, this one kid showed up in a full suit of armor. Boots, gloves, gauntlets, the whole thing, 3 layers, night helmet, it was epic. And the school let him keep it on. Well, after second period, these 3 8th graders, who were the school bullies, decided to make fun of him. Hey, nice outfit, Tin Man. What you got under there?
Yeah, nice outfit, metal boy.
Well, he's just standing there, not saying a word. The bullies didn't like this, so they start to attack him. What's your problem, dude? Yeah, what's your problem? One punches his shoulder, his hand is shaking, it might be broken. Some kid kicks him in the groin, his foot is hurting. And the third one, big guy, punches his knee and literally breaks his wrist. Ow! You're my foot! My foot! My wrist, guys? Guys, my wrist, it's broken. It's broken. Principal shows up and calls it a school fight. The kid in the armor gets suspended for a week, even though he did not touch any of them. He literally just stood there in his night armor that the school let him wear. And the bullies, they didn't get in trouble at all. And that, my friends, is messed up. Recess used to be the best part of the day, but this school ruined it. It started after one kid tripped during freeze tag. The kid hit his head, and the school banned running.
You guys can still play tag, okay? Just walking tag.
Walking tag? What the heck?
So the kids pushed through. They were power shuffling, they were speed walking, they were kind of like twirling around, they weren't running. Well, a girl pivoted too weirdly and she twisted her ankle. So then tag was banned. The kids were like, all right, fine, let's switch to something else. So everyone began to jump rope. Well, as they were going around one day, the rope hit and smacked somebody in the eye, and she was pretty injured, I guess. Then jump ropes, they were banned. They tried catch, but one day the ball hit a teacher.
Ow! Hey, no more balls!
So they started tossing around pine cones, and then they had to stop doing that. So finally, one kid brings Uno. Surely this is gonna be fine. But one day they were having a pretty intense Uno game, and everyone began arguing, and it was almost a full-blown fist fight.
No, man, you are an absolute cheater. I didn't cheat, Steven. Screw you. You smell like crap.
Oh, that's it. Uno and any other game like that was then banned as well. By spring, there was like nothing they can do. No balls, no ropes, no running, no cards, no pine cones. And at some point, it stopped being recess. It was just kids walking around aimlessly under adult supervision. No talking in groups, absolutely no messing around. They started calling it the yard, like a prison yard. And that's exactly what it looked like. I mean, come on. What's recess without a little risk? This teacher roasted his students. So in this 10th grade history class, the teacher has a tradition. Every Friday before the bell, he would roast one student. I'm gonna roast Steven today. Nothing too mean, just a little bit fun, like tiny little digs. Steven, your haircut looks like your little brother did it with a lawnmower. And your handwriting looks like a 5-year-old's. I'm just kidding around. Have a good weekend, guys. Pretty much all the kids laughed it off, but one kid, he was kind of a quiet kid, he starts a notebook, and he calls this Operation Final Bell. He passes this notebook around every week to other students in his class, and people write roasts of that teacher. One-liners, history burns, everything. By May, this notebook's absolutely packed. The last day of school comes, the bell rings, and the teacher goes, "All right, guys, one last roast for old time's sake, huh?" This kid then stands up and goes, "Yeah, but this time, we roast you." Wait, what? Yeah, you walk like you're mad at the floor. Your breath smells like a cat pooped in it. You dress like you buy clothes from the clearance rack at an old lady's store. We've learned more about your midlife crisis than the subject you teach. And you look goofy in that hat. Kinda harsh, but hey, I get it. That's a good one, guys. And then everyone leaves for the summer. Hey, can't stand the heat, get out of the kitchen, right? On Monday, Mr. Davis said, "Bring a towel and wear old clothes on Friday, class." No explanation, that was it. And the rumors start instantly. "Bro, we're painting." "No, guys, we're making slime." One kid remembers seeing a package of unfilled water balloons in a Walgreens bag, sitting on Mr. Davis's desk. No, guys, listen to me. It's water balloons. That seemed like the most reasonable explanation, and kids got hyped. By Friday, everyone's ready. One kid brings a change of clothes, one kid's wearing goggles, most of the class is in their swimsuits. They're super hyped. Well, they get in Mr. Davis's class and they walk outside. There's water balloons everywhere, buckets full of them, and the weather is perfect. This is a dream come true. Yes. Literally a dream. Imagine a water balloon fight in the middle of school day. That's when Mr. Davis says this. "All right, class, today we are studying projectile motion." Huh? Each of you will take turns throwing one water balloon at that wall right there. Then we'll log your trajectory data and calculate your angles. That's it. It's an actual frickin' lesson. One by one, kids are launching water balloons at this blank wall. One kid really wanted to splash someone, so he fake stumbles and accidentally pops a balloon on one of his classmates. Oops. That felt nice. Hey, no fooling around. It's a 0 for both of you. Now, they were never promised a water balloon fight, but they built themselves up and they truly believed it. It was supposed to be a normal lunch period, but 5 minutes later, the principal was on the floor. This happened at high school. 2 senior girls lock eyes. "You told him I cheated?" Yeah, because you did." People are starting to notice what's going down. The cafeteria gets quiet. One of the girls picks up a carton of chocolate milk and dumps it on the other girl's head. And it begins. The hair pulling, the smacking. "Get off me! You are so done." Lunch trays are flying around, people are backing up, the principal comes running in. Hey, break it up. That's when one of the bigger of the seniors just clocks him right in the gonads. He drops, the whole cafeteria gasps, and then she climbs on a table. "You want drama? I'll give you drama." No. A full-blown elbow drop. Kids are screaming, some are cheering, most of them are recording, and that was the day of lunchroom beef turned into a full-blown wrestling match. Nobody forgot that day, ever, especially the principal. There was this kid in 8th grade, and to be clear, nobody liked him. Why? Well, because he was frickin' mean. He would steal people's food and say, "Mine, survival of the fittest." He barked at the PE teacher once. Ruff. And he had this really insane talent of making other people cry. Kid was a certified menace. One day during lunch, he picks up one of those tiny square milk cartons, and he sees someone across the way and says this, "Hey nerd, catch this." He winds up, he launches the milk carton, and he misses. The milk carton missed the kid he was trying to throw it at, but it hit the security guard in the chest. Oh, you, come here now. And let me say this, the security guard was a huge, buff dude. People respected him because they were terrified of him. Oh, no. I'm so sorry. Well, this 8th grader is now starting to panic because he's terrified. I said, "Come here now." And he starts walking over there, slowly, in shame and terror. And just like that, every single student in the cafeteria begins cheering. Yes. Justice is served. Who's the nerd now? Loser. Everyone was just so happy that this kid, who seemed to never get in trouble but was always so horrible to other people, was finally getting the karma he deserved. This kid started a war at the zoo. 5th grade field trip to the zoo. Everyone's hyped. The teacher's already stressed, They get to the primate exhibit. The absolute best exhibit in any frickin' zoo. All right, class, hands to yourselves, please. Let's respect the facility and the gorillas, okay? There's this one kid. That kid. He picks up a stick and launches it into the gorilla exhibit. Well, the stick lands on the ground right next to a full-grown silverback gorilla. The gorilla turns, sees the kid, grabs the stick, and throws it back. Smack! The stick explodes across this kid's chin. He drops, screaming, blood's everywhere. Chaos. This class is freaking out, teachers are screaming, and then the rest of the gorillas show up, all gathered on the other side of the fence right next to this class. They just rolled in like backup, and they're all just smacking the ground, you know, they're all angry. And it's gotta be horrifying for these kids. They're yelling, they're pounding the glass. This is gonna kill me, they're gonna kill me. What is going on? Well, the pounding on the glass alerted the orangutans, who were on just the other side of this exhibit, and they roll in like backup as well. So now it's like a dozen silverback gorillas, a dozen orangutans, all just pounding the glass in the ground on the other side of this class on a field trip. Dear God. That's when the gorillas and the orangutans start pooping in their hand and chucking the poop at the glass. Back to the buses. Now, the zoo staff swarms in from all sides. They shut this entire thing down. The exhibit is closed for the rest of the day. 30 minutes later, the school's banned from the zoo for life. And the kid who got the stick thrown at him left in an ambulance. He had to get stitches. That is absolutely insane. All right, boys, time to confess your sins. I just want to play Mario Kart. So one time, this kid got invited to a sleepover, and it was pretty normal until bedtime. At exactly 9 p.m., this mom walks into the kid's room with a clipboard. Big smile, and she says, "Okay, boys, time to log your sins for the day." This kid thought she was joking. No. She passes out worksheets to the two kids. The top of the page says daily sin accountability. Bro, what if I didn't sin today? Everybody sins every day. Just think of something. So they're sitting there. This kid's half asleep. His friend is writing very jubilantly, like this is a normal thing for him, because it is. This mom does this to them every night. And he's there just trying to think of what's going on. So he's writing stuff like, took the last Pop-Tart, thought about punching Gavin today, laughed when Gavin fell off the couch. It was a full confession session, and the mom was taking notes. And if you forgot something, she would help you. Did you think anything bad today at all? I am right now. What? Nothing. They weren't allowed to go to bed until the mom was convinced that they had every sin accounted for. The next morning, he woke up and he noticed that the mom had put their sins on the fridge, like a leaderboard. He never went to that house ever again. And honestly, I wouldn't either. That's freaking creepy. So this girl's about to start high school. 9th grade. New school, new classes. And she just got her course selection sheet for the next year. She fills it out on her own. She just picks what she wants to take. You know, she doesn't want to overwhelm herself, which I totally get. It's her first year in a brand new school. It's high school, you know? And she's just trying to get through the transition without drowning in homework. Yeah, I would do the same. A few days later, her mom finds the form, and she loses it. Why did you pick all the easiest courses? What happened to preparing for college? Mom, I picked all the easy ones because I don't want to drown in work. It's high school, and I'm not even sure if I want to go to university yet. She didn't say she's dropping out. She didn't say that she's never going to learn again. She just said, "I'm 13, Mom, I just don't know." But that's not enough for her mom. Her mom is accusing her of slacking, saying she's just trying to avoid homework. Then she notices that she didn't sign up for music class, and she flips out again. Why didn't you sign up for music class? You are so good at music. Because if I take music, I have to join the band, and band practice is at 5 a.m., Mom. So? She's 13. She doesn't want honors classes and pre-sunrise saxophone rehearsals. The mom ended up forcing her to take the classes that she wanted her to take, which in my opinion is so messed up. And I just want to tell her, don't be confused when your daughter doesn't want to talk to you in 5 years. The hoodie heist service. So at this one middle school, there was this rule where you were not allowed to wear hoodies in class. If a teacher saw you wearing one, they would take it. No warning, no second chances, just, oh, no. You know the rule, hand it over. Now obviously, right when this rule was implemented, students were losing their hoodies left and right. And every hoodie that was taken got tossed into a random cabinet behind the teacher. No labels, no names, just a growing pile of hoodies. Some of them were actually expensive. Well, this kid, let's call him Carlos, noticed that no one ever got their hoodies back. Like ever. So he came up with an idea. He would get them back for a price. He started with his friend's hoodie. During lunch, while his friend's teacher was out of her classroom, he slipped in, opened the cabinet, and took the hoodie. Boom. Recovered. And word spread fast. People began paying him to get their hoodies back. And the pricing, well, that depended. If it was a basic hoodie and an easy teacher, it was like $5. If it was a brand name hoodie like Nike or like Supreme, that was like $15. But there was a teacher, let's call him Mr. Anderson, who had the cabinets locked. Now, if your hoodie was in that cabinet, He had to pay extra, $30 to recover that hoodie because, well, it's locked and that teacher never really left the room. And when Carlos did have to deal with Mr. Anderson's cabinet, he would have to use a special device he bought off Amazon to pick the lock. This dude was committed, okay? He was trying to get back everybody's hoodie. And yes, obviously the teachers were getting suspicious, but they still couldn't find out who was doing this because whenever he went on these missions, he had a hoodie on and he had glasses on. He was trying to be low-key. He even had a notebook where he kept track of which teacher had whose hoodie and how risky it would be to retrieve it. Business was booming. Now for 1 full month was when things were moving. People were wanting their hoodies back because, like I said, the rule was new. And obviously, after a while, people just stopped wearing hoodies to class. But for that month, Carlos ran the most successful hoodie heist of all time. Until one day, this all caught up with him. He thought the teacher was out of the room. Turns out she was just in the corner of the room messing with some cabinets. She saw him doing what he did best, stealing hoodies. Busted. The business was shut down. But in that 1 month, he made over $600. And more importantly, he got so many kids their nice hoodies back. You gotta respect the hustle. The locker room at this one school was built on a limestone creek, but nobody cared about the foundation. One day, this kid named Mike was running late to gym class, and he was the only one in the locker room because everybody else was in the gym. He was sitting on a bench, tying his shoe. What is that noise? He hears a strange noise coming from the floor. So he stood up, and he felt the ground kind of dip. He realized the floor definitely didn't look right. So when he goes to the gym, he tells the PE teacher, "Coach, I think the floor in the locker room is moving, and it made a loud noise." But the coach did not care. "Oh, you scared of the floorboards now, Mike? The floor isn't moving, you're going crazy." Now everyone's laughing at him. You know what, actually? Get down and give me 20 push-ups right now. So now, middle of the gym, everyone's standing around Mike as he's doing push-ups. Mike's afraid of the floor, isn't that right, coach? Shut up, Billy. At the end of the push-ups, Mike stands up. The coach gives one last word. "So from now on, stop being so frickin' soft and get to gym on time." But right as he said that, a loud crash was heard throughout the entire school. They go to the locker room. "Oh, look, coach." The floor had collapsed. There was a 5-foot wide hole, and the lockers had fallen in it. It was a frickin' sinkhole. Mike was right. "I think Mike was right, coach. You got something to say to me, coach?" Yeah. "Everyone evacuate the locker room." And he never apologized to Mike. But it all started because
ব্যবসা করেন, অনেক বড় ব্যবসা।
বাইকটা নষ্ট হয়ে গেল। অনেকদিন পর বাচ্চাদেরকে এভাবে দেখলাম, খুব ভালো লাগছে, সুন্দর।
চিন্তার কি আর শেষ আছে রে মা?
টুম্পাও ভালো আছে। তুই কেমন আছিস বাবা?
মা, আমি আলহামদুলিল্লাহ ভালো আছি। শোনো না, কেমন চলে?
ভালো চলছে। তুই বাড়ি আসবি কবে?
আমি
মানে আপনি আমাকে ভুল বুঝতেছেন। আমি আপনাকে ডাকছি এটা বলার জন্য যে আপনি আমাকে এরপর থেকে
বাবা, আমার শুধু বাবাই আছে আর আমি।
সবাইকে কি বলছি, বাসায় গিয়া এই পড়াটা পড়তে হবে, ঠিক আছে? এখন ছুটি, বাসায় যাও। আপনাকে অনেকবার বলছি এরকম রাস্তাঘাটে আমার সাথে কথা বলবেন না, বিরক্ত করবেন না।
কেন? লোকটাকে
আমার কাছে জিনের বাচ্চার নাম্বার আছে। জিনের বাচ্চা
করতে চাস নাকি ইটিস পিটিস করতে চাস?
হ্যালো বন্ধু,
আমার রোদে দিছস?
এই তো দিছি তো।
ঠিক মতো রোদে দিছস?
কি শুনতে চান? আমি আপনাকে ভালোবাসি।
ভালোবাসা যে এত প্যারা, এত কষ্ট, এত জ্বালা যন্ত্রণা জানলে ভালোই বাসতাম। জিসান আর তুলির ভালোবাসার ইতিহাস তাই রক্ত লাগবে তো।
আসসালামু আলাইকুম দুলা ভাই।
আরে শালা, ওয়ালাইকুম আসসালাম। কি খবর, কেমন আছো?
গলায় দড়ি লাগাই দিছে ভাবি।
গলায় দড়ি দিছি মানে গলায় 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 কেন রেখেছেন আমাকে? কি হয়েছে বলতো?
আর বলিস না, তোরে যে বুকিং দিছে সে তো এখন আমার পিছনে লাগছে।
জিসান, আমার দরজা লাগাই দিচ্ছে। আমার দরজা লাগাই দিচ্ছে। কই যায়? কই যা? ফোন দিয়ে যেতেছি, ফোনই ধরো না। তোমার ফোন ধরার কোনো নামই নাই, কোনো কথা। তোমার ফোন ধরো না কেন?
এবারে এক্সামের প্রিপারেশন কিরকম তোদের? আমি তো খুবই এক্সাইটেড, কারণ আমার প্রিপারেশন খুবই ভালো।
জিসান দরজা খোল। কি বুঝতেছি না।
বাড়িতে আমার মা, বোন টুম্পা। আপনার? আপনাকে যদি কখনো বলা হয়।
3 দুগুণে কত? 6। গুড, ভেরি গুড।
একটা ফোন আসতেছে, বুঝছো? আমি
মা, ভাইয়ের সাথে কথা
অঞ্চলের অনেক সমস্যা। আমাদের এখানকার মাছ অনেক ভালো। আপনি মাছ খান তো?
খাবো কিভাবে? রান্না তো করতে পারি না।
দেখি কে কে বাসায় পড়ছো। তো বলো 2 দুগুণে কত?
আমার জন্য কিন্তু কাচের চুড়ি আর টিপ নিয়ে আসবি।
আচ্ছা আচ্ছা, আনবো আনবো আনবো।
চিন্তা করবেন না, যাই আমি।
টনি,
বাইকটা নিচে রাখাস।
সকালে উঠিয়া আমি মনে মনে বলি।
আসসালামু আলাইকুম।
ওয়ালাইকুম সালাম।
প্রত্যেকদিন বাচ্চাদের পড়ান?